The well-balanced mind is about really understanding your mind. Understanding your emotions, understanding everything about human behavior and how it can help you create a healthier and happier lifestyle. Everything starts with the mind, and what the mind affects can be changed.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today on Women Have Needs Too. Women have needs too. Right now, I need effective communication, and we just have the person who is going to teach us about effective communication. We have Galit Ventura-Rozen with us today, and she has the Successful Women's Mindset. But Galit, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi, Linda. Thank you for having me.
I am so excited to have you on. And you're one of those people that we're going to have on more than one time because you are just a plethora of information. And I haven't told you how much I love you, but I do love you.
Oh, thank you.
You are really dynamic. And we're going to talk about sales success and effective communication to get us to the sales success. And Galit, I just want to brag on you for a little bit. You know about success because sales success specifically because you are one of the top 100 realtors in the country. Is that right?
Real estate agents.
Real estate agents. Okay, so
Yeah,
top
realtor
real estate
is a-
agents. It's different.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
We
top
can't
real
say
estate
that.
agents in the country. Thank you for correcting me.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's pretty amazing because there are a lot of real estate agents in the country. How many are there? Do
Yes,
you know?
I do not know. I know that in my city alone, we have over 25,000. So I can only imagine what there is in the country. So there's quite a few.
That's crazy. That's just crazy. I mean, I guess we're going to talk a little bit about how you did it because you started when you were 21.
Yes.
Right? You started when you're 21 years old, and I know that you had some struggles because of your age. You know, people didn't accept you as, you know, an expert and that kind of thing. So you had to kind of create your own trail.
It wasn't about my age as much as my gender and my age.
Really?
It was probably both, Linda. Yes, because I'm a commercial real estate broker. I don't sell homes. And there's more of a generalized, let's just say a lot more women are residential agents than they are commercial agents. So I kind of had two things working a little bit against me. I had the fact that I was a woman and I was young because at the time when I started 25 years ago, most commercial agents were men and over the age of 40.
It's sad to think, and I hope things have changed, you know, a lot since then. But it's sad to think that age or gender or race or anything counts against you. You know, it should be your work ethic and your work ethic and your morals, right?
Yes, I don't know that it worked against me. I just think I was the orphan in the industry, if we can call it that.
Right.
I was kind of a little bit odd. Most people enter the real estate industry as a second or third career, and I entered it as a first career. And then I also chose commercial real estate, which was not considered common in those days. Yes, the numbers have changed. We have way more commercial real estate women now in the industry, but we're still considered the minority in this industry because of it's just what it is at this time.
How did you choose to go into commercial real estate at such a young age?
Good question. I went to school, was finalizing my first degree in business, and I knew I could not work for someone. And I'm going to say could not or choose not whatever words work. I just knew I needed to start my own path. So at the time, my father was very involved in commercial real estate, not as an agent or anything, but he had bought his first building. And he said to me, "Hey, Galit, I was just having my first child a few years later. It was maybe around 24. So I got into the field at 21 and just started. And at 24, he says, I have a property I need managed, and I know no one will do as good of a job as you. Do you want to give it a shot?" And it was a huge shopping center. And I said, "Absolutely, I want to give it a shot." So it was a little bit based on the fact that I didn't want to work for anyone else, and I knew it was a great industry. It was also based on the fact that I loved business, and then I had an opportunity that kind of showed up that I wanted to take.
Yeah. What a great opportunity. What a smart father you had. And you
Yes.
know what? Kudos to him for trusting you to do it. Not every father, I don't know if you have any brothers or sisters, but I've known,
I do.
you do? Well, I
3 younger
knew
brothers.
younger brothers.
Yes.
Yeah, well,
3.
I knew a woman who, and if I said the company, anybody over the age of 50 would know the company, but I'm not going to mention it today. But she could run that company inside and out, and but her father chose her brother to run the company, and the brother ran it into the ground. And I just remember her having so much resentment, thinking, "Oh my gosh, if my father had trusted me, he told her he didn't give it to her because she was a girl, but she was a woman." And that is just so sad, because the company would still be around today, and it would make everybody in America very happy, because it was
Absolutely.
good
Yeah,
stuff.
that's too unfortunate. No, I've always been treated the same as my 3 younger brothers. I actually am looked at as kind of the head, if not because I'm the oldest and I'm the woman. In my house,
Yeah,
in my family, they never treated us different because of gender. Obviously, I'm very blessed. But
that's
I
great.
also made sure, even in my industry, Linda, that once I spoke, I knew what I was talking about. And when you know what you're talking about, people tend to learn to respect you. I
It's
think that's a big part of success, is being very confident in understanding and always doing your homework and having the knowledge that you need. So when I spoke, people listened. If I didn't know what I was speaking about, it would be a little bit different. So that worked in my favor.
That's a huge point. Because there are a lot of people who have knowledge and are afraid to speak about it. So a lot of times the people who are babbling are the people who don't know what they're talking about. And nobody wants to
Yes.
listen to them, right? Well, let's
Yes.
talk about, go ahead.
Sometimes it's better to listen more and speak less, and then be prepared to speak, instead of thinking that you have to do so much of the talking that sometimes, like you said, you babble or you're not sure about what you're speaking about.
I love it. That's so true. Well, let's talk about sales success, because, we chose this topic today because, as I said, you're one of those people we're going to have on multiple times, because we got to get into that
Thank you.
dynamic brain of yours. But we chose this topic today because there are a lot of people who are going through a lot of changes in their jobs or with their businesses. And, sales is a hot topic now, because it's a whole new ball game as far as I'm concerned. The dynamics are different. The resources are different. The source of getting the word out there are different than what they used to be. Everything's gone a very virtual. So can we talk about that sales process today? And okay, for the viewers out there, Galit has her master's in therapy. So she knows not only how to get the information, but how to convey the information and how psychology works. So I just love that about you. You're such a well-rounded person.
Oh, thank you. That's so sweet. Yeah, I chose to go back to school a little less than 10 years ago because I wanted to learn how the brain worked and why our thoughts are not our biggest cheerleaders. I think that it really bothers me that this is my brain, these are my thoughts. Why are they not working for me? And I've seen so many people self-sabotage and fail based on their own thoughts. It's enough that we have to deal with the world around us, right, Linda? We already
Yeah.
discussed it. Sometimes working against us and not supporting us. It's a whole nother thing when our mind is not working for us. So even though I'm not a practicing therapist, I love the combination of a business degree and a therapy degree so I could teach people and also learn about myself. So it was a great experience to do that. And I went back to school later in life and took a little bit longer to do that. So yes, sales success. Why do I love this topic so much? First of all, I've been very blessed in my commercial real estate. I sell multi-million-dollar properties all day long, and I've had a lot of experience working with people to sell. And what I have found is sometimes people almost increase your bottom line if you don't know how to sell, right?
Galit, can you repeat what you just said? Because we had a little bit of technical difficulty.
Sure.
We lost you for a second.
Sometimes, absolutely. Sometimes when people hear the word sales, they think of it as a taboo word. We can't talk about sales. And we don't realize that without sales, how can any business succeed and increase their bottom line? Because at the end of the day, all businesses are here to make a profit, even if they are heart-centered or they're focused on helping people. If they don't make a profit, they're not going to stay in business. So that's why I really love this topic.
So let's delve into it.
Yes, absolutely. I wanted to share just a few quick methods and a few quick steps that anyone that's listening and watching can implement into their business immediately and have success in sales. Now, of course, there's a lot more to it, but at least in the time that we have, I wanted to be able to share some of my tips of success.
Great.
So the first thing, which Linda's going to have no surprise with this, is the first thing is you must adopt a successful sales mindset. What does that entail? If any of you know me, you know that I wrote the book, The Successful Woman's Mindset, and I'm really big about mindset. And you've got to recognize that if you don't have the confidence within yourself to speak about a product or a service that you want to sell, why would anybody purchase from you? I mean, that's the key. So how do you get the confidence? You have to recognize that knowledge, expertise, research, and preparation is going to help you with your confidence. And then if you're still not feeling confident, you really want to look internally a little bit and ask yourself, why are you not confident about talking about this product or this service? That's going to be the first thing that we're going to talk about, Linda.
I love it. I love it. So we have to build that confidence and have that confidence level before we can even make that first sales call. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, yes, and I'll give you an example. There was this one time that I wanted to hire someone for a specific need in my business, and we jumped on a Zoom call because they're not local, and we talked about everything that she was going to offer me, and I listened, and she listened to what I needed. And then when she was about to talk about money, she actually covered her mouth and giggled a little bit before she told me how much she charged. There was no confidence in the worth or the value that her service had in helping my business for herself. But when she talked to me about the amount of money, it felt very aligned with the value of what she was going to offer. But most people would look at that as, wait, if she doesn't believe in what she charges, why would I be okay paying that? So that's a perfect example in showing confidence when you're speaking to somebody. As you know, Linda, a lot of times money is not comfortable to discuss.
Right.
But you've got to get comfortable discussing money. And one of the things I do with my private clients is I say, okay, well, how much are you going to charge an hour? They tell me how much they want to charge. I said, no, I think you should be charging more. Well, Galit, I don't feel confident in that. Walk around the house and speak to yourself in the mirror, in the camera, record yourself saying, this is how much I charge, without an explanation, without a reason why. Because if you did that call right, then you have already shared with them why you are worth and what the value is in what you charge.
I was going to say that, it's all about the value, right?
Yes, it's all about the value. And you've got to be confident in what your worth is. And not everybody is. Now, this can be taught and this can be learned. So sometimes I'll say to my private clients, look, if you're not confident in charging $500 an hour, what are you confident in charging? So let's start there. And then they'll get on that sales call. People will pay them and they'll say, Galit, that was so easy. Yeah, because you should be charging more. So that is it's part of the lesson, right, Linda? They've got to get confident within themselves. I'll use another funny example. I get hired a lot to speak to corporations and do trainings, and I'm doing everything virtually right now. So I was on the call with 2 or 3 HR managers, and the first second I told them how much I charge, they didn't even blink. They said, no problem, Galit. So I started thinking maybe I should charge more. Maybe I'm too inexpensive.
Right.
But sometimes it's based on your confidence and preparing the sales call with the value that you're going to be bringing, because there's more steps, and the benefit that you're going to be offering.
How do you evaluate? How do you evaluate your service or business, or how do you do that?
Most people don't love this answer, but I'm going to share it with you. You've got to compare yourself to others in your industry. You've got to learn what people are charging. So a lot of people, when I say, okay, this is your homework assignment, go find 5 people that are doing what you're doing and see what they're charging and learn about them. They usually come back to me in our next coaching call and say, Galit, I don't want to do this anymore. I can't compare myself. I said, no, I didn't ask you to compare yourself so you stop doing this. I asked you to learn about the industry by comparing yourself so you can understand what people are charging. So learn your industry, ask questions. There are a lot of people out there that are willing to talk to you in industries that are familiar or compared to yours. Also, of course, sometimes websites will have prices, but you want to compare so you know, first of all, you don't want to be charging too little. You also don't want to be charging too much, because then you're never going to make that sale.
Right, right. So that's step number 2, evaluation. So
step number one would be adopting a sales success mindset. Step number 2 is going to be being an effective communicator.
Aha. Okay.
Yes.
I love it. All right. So what's
the
next step?
In?
What's that?
So effective communicator is going to be number 2, which is really going to be related to listening more than speaking. Typically what happens on a sales call or through LinkedIn or messaging is they're just blowing you up with information about what they do and why you should purchase the product or service. Not enough people ask questions, and not enough people listen to what that client needs. So I challenge anyone that's about to make a sale to listen. I always do more listening. So on my sales calls, they're actually not, I don't call them sales calls. I call them discovery calls or complimentary calls, get to know you calls. I will do a lot more listening, asking questions and listening. I don't even typically offer my service until the last 5 minutes of our call, Linda, because it's really about what is it you want to accomplish? What is it you're looking to benefit from? What area of expertise can I offer you that is going to be an advantage to you, that you're going to want, that you almost are going to have?
Right. It's so funny because I get bombarded with those emails and, the LinkedIn messages and all those. And it's so true. They don't ask a question. They just tell you. They tell you what you need, and they haven't even asked the first question, right?
They don't just tell you, they make a lot of assumptions.
Yes.
And when we say they, we're just saying the typical sales message. We're not
Right.
trying to say everybody does this, but they make so many assumptions, Linda. They assume that I need another income stream. They assume that I need more clients. They assume that I don't know how to network and get leads. These are just few of the emails or messages I get. Why don't you instead ask, hey,
Yes.
Galit, I see that you are doing this. Is there anywhere that my service can benefit you? I'm a LinkedIn expert. I'm just using that as an example.
Right, right.
And I share with you how to get leads. Well, great. Thank you. Thank you for asking me if I need leads instead of assuming. And that's just one example. I think that we make a lot of mistakes in not just in our businesses, but in our careers, in our relationships, in our lives. We make a lot of assumptions and we don't really try to listen. And then we hear what we want to hear
Yeah.
instead of hearing what the person's trying to say.
It's so true. It's so true. All right. So develop a sales mindset and effective communication, which is basically, and I use, I call them discovery calls as well, because how do I know how I can help you without finding out what you need, right? So I love that. And so what's the third in the process?
The third step that I would love to share is build a relationship.
Thank you.
People
It's all
buy,
about relationships.
right? People buy from people that they trust. People buy from people that they know. Now, let me express what I mean by know. I have sold, I have sold coaching programs. I've sold opportunities to be in my books. I've sold commercial real estate, and people barely know me after a 30-minute call. But I'm making sure I build a relationship. I really listen, I ask. Now, sometimes it's not in a 30-minute call. I had some people hire me after being at a workshop 3 years ago. But now they're engaging with me on social media. They're attending some of my workshops. They might be reaching out with questions. Build that relationship and don't think that there's a set amount of time to do that. Okay. This is something you need to work at. Like I said, I've sold things in 30 minutes and I've had people hire me after 3 years. There is no set time.
Yeah, it depends on, it's not just on your time, it's on their timeline, right?
Yes, very key. Building relationships has been my key to success. Even like I said, Linda, I'll reach out to people, let's say through via email. I'll use my commercial real estate as an example, share with them a property I might have for sale, but I'm not salesy. I ask, is this something you might be interested in? Is there something I might be able to help you with in my city, in my area of expertise? And I get such a large rate of responses because I don't make it about me. I make it about them. How can I benefit them? How can I help them? How can I serve them? So let's not make it about ourselves, even though it benefits us too. When I make the sale, it benefits me. A great example is right now, Clubhouse is a big thing. So I joined Clubhouse 3 weeks ago and I started holding these rooms where we're sharing with women how to become published authors, how to sell, how to start six-figure Facebook groups, all kinds of topics because I have a large variety of expertise. But I show up, people ask questions, and then guess what? They are asking, well, Galit, what program can I learn more about? How can I be part of your book? And guess what? I've made sales from dropping in a room that I set up on Clubhouse. After an hour, they go to our website and they give me money. I mean, that's how simple
Well,
it can be.
because you have that effective communication and you're talking about something that you know something about. And that's what people want. They want that information. So, kudos to you,
Oh, thank you. Thank you. But I think everyone can do it. I think if we all step back and we recognize that sales is part of success, and if you step back and you process, what am I trying to do? And even with these 3 simple steps, Linda, of course, there's way more. My
Right,
programs are way longer than an hour, but if
right.
you work on confidence, if you become an effective communicator and you focus on building relationships, you are so on the right path to making more sales in your business.
I agree. And I just love the process. And let's talk about the book real quick and then we'll close up because you are putting a book together. Talk about the book briefly and then we'll sign off.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I found that there was a need and a desire for women to become published authors. So I decided to set up a platform where they could be part of a book with me and enjoy my social media presence and my large following. So it's really neat because we have 50 women that we're putting together for our next book. We already launched one at the end of January that's been very successful with 21 authors. We were #1 in 5 categories. And now we're launching another book in May, June, that is going to take 50 authors.
Wow.
And those 50 authors are going to have the opportunity to be part of a platform so they can cross promote and collaborate and hopefully also become best-selling authors.
That's fantastic. That's exciting. And what's the name of that book?
This one is one of my businesses. It's called Everyday Woman's Guide to Doing What You Love.
Yes. And that's one of the businesses that you created to help empower women.
Yes, believe it or not, during the last year, we started a business, my women, and we have a Facebook community of over 8,000 women that are just supporting each other, which is really what I'm all about. Support, uplift, empower. None of this cutthroat stuff. One woman is great, 50, 100, 8,000 women.
I love
What
it.
can we not accomplish, right, Linda?
I love it. It's so true. We can accomplish a lot, and especially when we help and support each other and inspire and empower each other, which is, what we're all about. And I just really appreciate you being here today. How can people get a hold of you? How can they get a hold of the book, successful, I can't say it, but the Successful Woman's Mindset,
No
and
worry.
yeah, and the book.
No, no worry. It's all over online retailers, Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Apple, Kindle, and they can get a hold of me. I'm all over social media everywhere but Twitter at Galit Ventura-Rozen, and my website is also Galit Ventura-Rozen.
And that's GALIT hyphen. Is it? Do you put the hyphen in
No,
the? Okay, so
just no hyphens. It's just Galit.
GALITVENTURAROZEN.com.
Yes, easy enough.
Yay! Thank you so much, Galit. You are fantastic and
Thank
just
you.
such a superwoman and with wonderful information and impactful information. So thank you so much. Everybody out there, stay inspired and stay empowered. Women have needs too.